And today's topic... Whoop. Too intense? In today's topic, what I wanted to talk about was how to eat out with friends and be better about tracking and estimating what you're eating. Hey everybody, Stephen Bogren here, Pro Physique. As promised from my overly excited intro, what I wanted to talk about today is how to track and estimate more efficiently when you're out at dinner. Man, so, some of y'all might notice, I know last week I had the hat, hair was getting a little bit long, got that fresh cut, the beard trimmed up and taken care of, so that's kind of what brought this all about. Had to get out the house. One of my friends from undergrad actually hit me up. He said, "Steven, we want you to come over to dinner." My first thought was, oh God, no! How am I going to stay on track? I remembered I got have some good ways to sort of handle that, right? Nice part was we did dinner at their place. So it made things quite a bit easier because obviously, hey, they track, so I can always just weigh things out if I really, really am that intense about it. I am in meat prep, so I'm close enough to my competition weight that it's not really a big issue for me right now. So I just sort of looked and estimated, right? Now, if I was much closer, to competition, I would be a lot more stringent about it. I would actually have weighed everything. But easy enough, I can look at the packaging, I can say, hey, that's a 6-ounce burger. Hey, it's 80-20. I know I can put that into my app pretty easy. Hey, I look at that baked potato, it looks like it's about 6.5 ounces, 7 ounces. I can just throw that into my tracking app. Pretty painless, right? A lot of the times, that's what you're going to have to do when you eat out. That being said, I still have pretty high macronutrient intake right now, so it's a little bit easier for me to fit that in. Now, if I was dieting, I would need to be much more aware of the situation and probably practice some portion control. Okay, so great. Estimating. How do you estimate? Fair question. First and foremost, estimation is something that you should do when you have practice and familiarity with the foods that you're eating. I can pretty accurately guess the weight on chicken and normally be within about 1.5 ounces or 1 ounce. That's a pretty decent estimation right there. I can do the same with rice, with sweet potatoes, with regular potatoes. So I can estimate how much food I'm getting. So here's the trick with estimation that I think a lot of people fail to pay attention to. And the trick with estimation is that people will estimate what they're getting. That's okay. Estimating how much food you're getting, perfectly fine. No issues with that. So the problem that can come up when we estimate is when we estimate, say, our actual macronutrients, protein, fats, carbs. There is so much information out there on the internet at the end of our fingertips. I don't see it, but it's there. It's in our phones. Phone's not in there, I'm recording on it. It's a bad example. So anyways, the wealth of knowledge that is out there that we can access on our phone is immense. So if we can get close to estimating on portion size, then we can be much more accurate with actual macronutrient intake. Why is it important? Why is it important? Macronutrient intake matters. I could go on all day about why it's important, how carbs fuel your body, how hormones are synthesized from fats, cholesterol derivative, how pretty much everything in your body is made out of protein almost. So on and so forth. So macronutrients matter. It's not just about the calories when we're talking about being healthy. If you eat 3,000 calories worth of fat, you're missing out, right? You need some protein. Even in a keto diet, you need some protein. So I digress. But when you are out and you're estimating, still track it. So still track your estimations so you know exactly where it is that you lie and sort of what you have left for the day or what you need to do with the portions that you have in front of you. If you need to take some of that food home, if you need to save some for later, or share some of it with your wonderful puppers. So these are all really easy ways to have an idea. But again, you need to be familiar with your food to be able to do this, with the food sources, with how they're cooked. So if you're over at a friend's house, very easy to find out. If you're at a restaurant, also easy to find out. Just ask your server. Ask whoever's making it, right? Do they cook the steak in butter? I don't know. Let me go find out. Easy enough, right? Because sometimes it's little changes like that. I was out with Paul and his family the other day and got steak. But that was the question I asked. Well, the steak on the menu had a lot of fat on it, much more than a steak would normally have. So, I simply ask, hey, how do you cook the steak? They cook it in butter. Can you just not cook it in butter? Just grill it, pan-sear it, whatever, I don't care. Done. And then all that extra fat's cut out, and it's now just a normal steak that's lightly seasoned. You can do the same thing with your vegetables, potatoes, all that stuff. Restaurants tend to add a lot of fat to their dishes to make them more palatable and taste better. So when you're out and about, or even at the friend's house, these are all things that you can sort of keep in mind to try and make everything fit in a little bit better and still enjoy the experience and enjoy your time out in the company and the environment, right? So what if I'm not familiar with the foods? I've never had steamed broccoli with garlic butter. I've never been to the Cheesecake Factory. I don't know what a ropa vieja is. Whatever the case may be, I have no clue. I'm completely uninformed as to what's going on with my food, but it sounds good and I want to eat it. Now, I normally use my Macros Plus. If I understand what's in something and I'm comfortable estimating it, I'm going to use my Macros Plus. If I am not comfortable, I go, boom, straight over to MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal has a huge inventory of foods from eating out, restaurants, and you can always double check the calories on the menu or on the restaurant's website to make sure that it's accurate, right? So at very least, we hit calories as our counter. At the best, we know what the actual macronutrients are of the dish. So this is an easy thing to do. Just switch over to the other app. So then you can always fast track that on my Macros Plus, or you can just decide that, hey, I'm going to use MyFitnessPal for today. They obviously have the free version. It works. This is something that I've done many, many, many times, just going over, using a different app that has the data that I already want. It saves me time. I get to enter it in. Again, I can look at things like calories, carbs, proteins, fats. I can request changes while I'm out at the restaurant. I can request that I don't get cheese. I can request that you don't cook it in butter, whatever the case may be, to make it more friendly into fitting my macronutrient goals. And so these are just a couple very, very simple, straightforward, easy to use ways to where you can go out. Your friends can invite you out for a dinner party. You can go have fun. You can socialize. You can enjoy their wonderful company. You can go out to dinner with family and friends. And you can use portion control and figure out what it is that's on the plate and what you're actually looking at, what you need to be doing, right? So there's a lot of easy ways to manage that. I know that eating out can be a very scary situation. A lot of people, especially if you're in prep or you're dieting or you're close to a show, a meet, making weight, whatever the case may be, it can be super an overwhelming situation for a lot of people, but it doesn't have to be. That is why I love flexible dieting, because it's not about eating crap all the time. You still eat your veggies, you're still eating nutrient-dense food, you're still getting whole nutrition, right? But you have the flexibility that if, you want to have a snack here, or you want to enjoy some time out with friends there, you want to have a drink. And so these are things that you can do within reason. You can still enjoy life. You can still have a full, fulfilling, happy, social, normal life. You don't have to only eat tilapia and asparagus. You can't not drink ever. You don't have to have apple cider vinegar every single day. Whatever the case may be, is you still can do those things, but you don't have to. There's no limit on what you can do. Today's video, very simple, a couple of just easy points. I hope they've been explained well enough for you to utilize them, or to at least begin experimenting with them and start becoming a little bit more comfortable with spending time with your friends and family, going out, living life, and really living life to its fullest. Because life is about so much more than one thing. But guys, that's it. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope your weekend was great. We got a tropical storm going through here, so hopefully my internet keeps playing ball. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bitch!